What women?
You're listening to the first anniversary episode of the Celtic Crack Podcast.
Like that little slide at the end, yeah? That was my idea.
Amanda did that as a legend.
I know you did it, but it was my idea to put the slide at the end. So I'll take credit for it.
Every being in my body has to stop saying, party on, Wayne.
Yeah. Excellent podcast. Party time. Yeah, we're finally fucking back anyway. 1 year anniversary episode. Yeah. It's mad to think we've been doing this for a year already, like.
What you get me?
Fuck all. Same thing I got you last year.
Like a cake, no?
No cake, boys.
Crack open the proper
Watching the old figure, do you know? I know, yeah. I'm waiting for another occasion. Maybe if McGregor comes back and baits the head off Cerrone. I know, yeah. Fuck that. Yeah, I should have thought
McGregor and Cowboy.
Should have thought about that.
Jumping straight into the UFC, so are we?
Oh, no, not really. I just want to say, yeah, we're back. Luke, did you see your man Luke that left a comment? It's gone now, but some fella left a comment there. I don't know who it is, but he left a comment on YouTube. Remember, was it the last one saying, will you hurry the fuck up, basically telling us to do the next episode.
Sorry, Luke.
Sorry about that, Luke. I won't say your full name, but I'd say he deleted the comment, but we can still see it, like if it comes into my inbox. So I went to reply to it, it was gone. So I think he might have deleted it, but
last name wasn't Skywalker by any chance, was it?
Sorry, no, it wasn't. No, I was thinking.
He came in your inbox, did he?
Came all over, blew his load all over inside my box. But yeah, we're back anyway. Look, sorry for keeping you waiting. It was Jude's fault as usual. We'll blame Jude. Couldn't get everyone together like the last 2 weeks. But yeah, that was one thing that annoyed me about the last year, man. Like we're doing this a year now, and we've watched this 24 episode. Yep. 24th.
24th.
We missed more than half the year, like.
The very 24th.
24 in a year is very good.
Most of that was out of our control, though. It was the fucking heat wave we got. Yeah. We missed about 4 months because of that heat, like, wasn't it? Yeah. Like, even now, it's fucking roasting in here. There's no heat on, like, and it's freezing outside, and I'm roasting already. We're only sitting here a few minutes.
I think it's the individuals that's in here, you know?
Yeah, I'm hot, bro. I'm pretty hot right now.
What about Nelly, huh?
Ah, poor Nelly boy, he went downhill, didn't he? Did you see that?
Yeah, where was he during the week? Was it?
Across from Top Pizza.
Yeah, on the road he was performing. Nelly, man, what happened there? I
was told he only performed for 45 minutes and he didn't even do any of his own.
Wish I could perform for 45 minutes.
I know, yeah. Told your missus.
What the fuck, like? Yeah, probably. What you call it? Yeah, that was mad, man. When I heard, like, he performed in Limerick in the Milk Market. That's where he was. Yeah, that's a tiny little venue, like, and he's doing Dolan's as well. Which, like, Dolan's is whatever. It's a grand spot, but like, for someone like him, he was a big star a few years ago. Like, I used to actually like him. I was only saying to Russell the other night. I had his album Burnt Out years ago. Like, he was a proper rapper, do you know what I mean?
What, as in you set fire to it?
Yeah. Because
I would have done the same.
I'd listen to it. No, I listened to him an awful lot, man. His albums were actually very good at the start. And then he went all, like, you know, pop with fucking them ones from Destiny Child and all that shit he was doing, like, you know, lovey-dovey kind of songs. But before that, he had proper fucking rap albums out, like.
Was he with her, was he?
I don't know.
Wasn't he with Kelly, isn't it?
Kelly Rowland, yeah. Kelly Rowland.
Kelly and Nelly.
Yeah, I heard he was playing in Limerick, and I think it was myself and my missus were talking about it. And first thing that kind of popped into my head when I heard his name was he's playing in Thomond Park, but I hadn't actually heard anything about it.
Yeah.
And someone said something about it. I said, "Yeah, I heard Nelly's playing in Limerick." Yeah, he's in the Milk Market, and my reaction was literally,
yeah, what the fuck, like,
what the fuck?
Just about anyone, like, usually people who are playing there are unheard of, like.
What my thinking there is obviously, like, he's based in the States, right? So, you know, he's going to have to bring, you know, sound engineers and an entourage to a degree with him.
You would think so.
And you're going to play it in the Milk Market. And the way a lot of these things work is they get their money off of the amount of tickets that they sell. Now, what would he have got? 50, 60 people into the Milk Market?
I don't know, realistically,
surely he's losing money, like.
A few hundred at least.
Probably. How many hundred though would you say?
Not that big, man.
There's a lot of like,
100, like.
The area of that isn't that big, and a lot of the area inside is taken up with that cafe and all that shit that's in there now. So like, there isn't an awful lot of standing room. He probably had a tiny little stage.
How many shows did he do around Ireland?
I have no idea, man. I only heard of him in Limerick, like.
Basically, it costs more for the flights over.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
And I hope you got a Ryanair flight.
No, yeah.
€50 over.
no, the Norwegian Air are flying for 199 quid or something like that, isn't it? Or is it 99 quid? Sorry.
Go on.
But they drop you off in a field about 50 miles away from you, which is pretty much what Ryanair do anyway. So
You have to bring your own parachute and jump out. We're not stopping.
And you have to host yourself.
Fuck's sake, yeah.
But the
Like,
saying,
it's crazy, like.
the saying about when you reach the top, there's only one way you go after that.
True
That's
that.
down.
True that.
So
He kind of hasn't done anything in a long time, but still, no, I would have thought, especially with Ireland, like, because we don't really get an awful lot of artists coming over here. I would have thought he would have sold out like fucking, what's this, the Tree Arena these days is called, is it? Somewhere like that anyway, like. Do you know?
He
It's not
might
a
have done, but
massive stadium, but
I suppose they might have done some sort of research into this, you know, before they came over to see what kind of numbers realistically he probably could pull, you know.
yeah, exactly. They usually
Because
would.
if they thought for a minute that he was going to sell out the Tree Arena, then that's where he would have been.
Sure, they would have done it.
let's
yeah.
face it, he was big in the noughties. So the only people who were really going to him, that was listening to him back then, are people still trying to hold on to their youth. Just couldn't accept it, like, you know.
Nelly, yeah. No,
Nelly's coming.
I used to like him. No, I think Country Grammar was the name of one of his albums I had. It's good.
I can only ever recall like 2 songs. The one with Kelly Rowland.
And Hot in
and
Here.
Hot in Here, yeah. Hot in Her.
Take off all your clothes.
Was there any more?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think what was his. Oh no, the
Let me see
first
your
one,
grill.
sure. The first one that he broke out with was that. If you want to go and take a ride with me, dream.
Oh, yeah, that was it,
only-
wasn't
Oh,
it?
where
Yeah.
do we live this? Hey, must be the money. Yeah, I couldn't fucking think what
But
the
they're
chorus
catchy
was. of it.
tunes. I will
Yeah.
give him that because I remember them.
But
And
that was
obviously-
like that was a good tune back then. Like,
Oh, lads, when he was inside in the milk market singing that song, was it, hey, I need money?
hey, throw me some money. Did you see that other flash the other day? Do you know your man Fabu D? Up, I think he's in Dublin, the black fella.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
living
he's
in
brilliant,
Ireland. Oh
isn't
man,
he?
he's fucking hilarious. Like, but he did one the other day with some taking the piss out of people making claims. But he was inside at the supermarket. He's walking along. There's a wet floor sign, and he just like kicks it, slaps off the ground. He's like, "Oh my god! Oh, someone give me money! Oh, my back! Someone give me money!" Oh, fuck's sake, he's hilarious.
Did you ever
but-
see the one where he was on blind date?
He
He said he was doing it for the green card and all that. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
man.
I actually never
Excellent.
saw that episode. He
Oh,
went on it, didn't he?
Yeah, you get it on YouTube. I'd
Yeah, I
say.
must
It's
watch that.
brilliant.
He's fucking gas, man, the shit he does. Like, he was in Limerick and all. He was above in South Hill and all,
Yeah.
chatting with the Caseys and everything and taking the piss out of everyone. I'm a black Casey, he was saying. I'm a traveller now and all this. Like,
Oh, have I?
this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
all
yeah,
he
I've
put
seen
up,
that
yeah.
guy. I've seen
Ah,
that
he's
guy.
gas.
He's
He's
funny.
telling women, I want to put a black baby in you so I can get a green card and all this. Yeah, he does some funny videos. But yeah, what about that anyway? It just turns out the truth is out there after all.
I know, Mike. Like
Oh,
you
the
said.
old,
that's the old
the ufologists are
the
gone
old-
bananas with this
Yeah.
one, aren't they?
Is that a word? Is it
It is,
ufologist?
it's an actual
Oh,
word. It's an actual
surprised Mikey didn't know that. Mikey's usually the one with the tinfoil hat.
MUFON, and that they're crowded.
Yeah.
Ah, see, I know he'd know it. Jesus, what the fuck is MUFON?
It's they're a UFO investigation organization.
What's the
I
M
think we
stand for?
should move on, all right. Move on to a different topic.
No, I like these topics, man.
Meteorological University for something, I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to make themselves sound professional by putting that M in there anyway. Otherwise, they're just UFO conspiracy theorists. lunatics.
They're pretty much the authority in UFOology.
Yeah. Ufology, as
ufology.
I've learned, as I've recently learned. Fucking yeah, that was weird though, man, because this wasn't a lot of like hillbillies saying like, I was out in my field and I saw it in the sky. This was, I think there was like 6 or 7 actual pilots,
Yeah.
commercial
Yeah,
airline pilots reported that they saw a big light in the sky or something that came up beside them or came towards them or whatever, and then it took off way faster than any plane can travel. It said it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times the speed of a fucking commercial airline. So and then vanished.
Yeah.
So they were all on like ringing into the control tower or whatever, ringing in like on their phones. So they got on the radio or whatever, and they were like, "What was that beside me?" or whatever. And the people in the tower were like, "There's nothing showing up on the radar. What are you talking about?" And they were like, "There's something fucking there," like, and it just took off and disappeared.
There's an actual image of it there now.
Oh yeah, actual genuine image.
Genuine.
Been in disc.
The recording, he rang into Shannon. Rang in. You're the number for air traffic control there, no? No,
Ring me back, I've no credit.
They called into Shannon basically ask him was there any military exercises going on in the area and stuff like that. Like, so this, like, I don't know, a whole bunch of them can't be...
Exactly. A few of them saw this thing.
Can't be wrong, like.
A few, that's what I'm saying, like, these are proper pilots, like, John, they saw something in the sky and none of them knew what it was.
Because let's be fair, I mean, you kind of need to take their word, because if a pilot is coming out with stuff like that, you know, you're not really going to want to be on that plane, are you?
Yeah.
You know, if he's a looper, like.
Ah, yeah, but that's it. The fact that a few of them did it. Do you know?
Exactly.
And it's not like they'd be messing, like, do you know, it's a serious thing, like, to call in something like that. They're not going to be joking.
Wasn't there, because, like, to be honest, I love all this UFO stuff.
Yeah.
I remember watching a documentary on YouTube, and it was the same kind of thing that happened over in, I think it was over in the States, or it was in the UK, one or two. Again, a whole bunch of pilots reporting in a light coming up fairly close to the plane and then shooting off in a different direction.
Yeah. Fucking
I wonder, is it, I don't know, I mean,
like, if there is, like, that, and there fucking has to be intelligent life out there somewhere else in the universe, like, there just has to be. So who knows, they're probably watching us.
Yeah, light years
probably
away.
being like, what the fuck are these fools down there? Look at the state of the things they're travelling around and looking at the shitty little airplanes, and they're in like a little ball of light travelling. Well, probably as
you know, I actually only had a talk about this with a girl I worked with the other day, and I was saying that when you look at, we'll say, what the Wright brothers had in what was it, the 1910s? Was it the first flight? Was it 1912 or something like that? Was it, or maybe something like that? I don't know.
Back in the day, anyway.
It
was
back
way
in the
before
day,
that, man.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But what they had, move ahead then to the 60s, and you know, a few years after Roswell, and all this kind of thing happened, and then there's the SR-71.
That's what they say, like that.
You know,
these
like
fucking
there's a jump in technology.
this,
like, you consider Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone, and sure, look at these things now.
They're just ridiculous how far they've jumped ahead. Yeah, but that's like, a lot of people maintain that, like, these fucking aircrafts or something from outer space crash landed here, and they took them away into their little area 51 and reverse engineered them all and figured out how to do this shit. Yeah. Who knows, man? Like, in fairness, who the fuck knows how a mobile phone works these days? Do you know what I mean?
Satellites.
Nah, you don't really understand every bit of it though. Like, could you make one of them, like, from scratch and set everything up so that you can send a picture through the fucking air?
I know who does.
Well,
all this shit.
Yeah,
like.
well, look, sending the pictures through the air has got to do with the network it's on.
I know, yeah, but Jesus, man, it's
So
fucking like, it's crazy
the phone itself can't do that without any sort of network
I
capability.
know, but the phone has to have the capability to actually break that picture down into code and send that through the air and rearrange it on the other side. All this, like,
code, like, just say one little pixel is yellow and there's a code for that, and then one
yeah,
is
it's
blue.
like
that's what it is. It's just a digital signal.
A computer, will see an image as a string of code. Like, it's not going to see the image, but it has to be able to break that down, send it, and rearrange it exactly the same on the other side instantly. It's like,
just like Wonka Vision.
I have no idea what that is.
Did you ever see Willy Wonka?
No.
I remember Willy Wonka, and he sent a chocolate bar through TV.
No.
That'd be.
Do you remember? You're watching this last night.
That was me, Willy Wonka.
Do you remember back in the day?
Huh?
You're watching it last night.
That'd be class, wouldn't it? Smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
Or get food through your TV.
Wonka Vision.
I'm still disappointed though. Like, a lot of the shit. Remember Star Trek back in the day? They were saying like that. A lot of the shit that was in Star Trek, we more or less have it now. Like, you know, all of the weird, mad technology they had, except for
Beam me up, Scott.
that. But that, like, in theory, they know how to fucking do that, but no one wants to try it. Oh, they say actually that, like, the storage space that they'd need on the receiving end would be way too much. You'd need like 10 billion fucking hard drives or something to actually receive a person. Because it'll break you down to code, but whatever. Yeah. But the fucking, what's the name of the thing where they just walk up to the wall and they say coffee black and it just goes
replicator.
Is it?
It's a replicator.
It just makes it. It just go up and say whatever meal you want and it just makes it there now.
But that's based on the same principle as the actual teleporters. The same idea. They're effective. It's not actually. I don't know.
It's
like I don't know.
Again,
it's a thing. It's a thing that I kind of pretty much dig. Like I watch the science of Star Trek on YouTube, like, to see how much of it. Because like I'd love to know, like, you know, when they're talking about warp speed. You know, to be able to fold the space in front of you and make it smaller,
that
so you can travel greater distances. But the theory is seems to be sound enough. But the idea is that when you teleport someone, you completely destroy them in the place that they're in, and then rebuild them
Yeah.
in the the destination.
That's what I was saying
like
about the teleporter, how it would
know?
work. Like, you would need to be able to receive all that information on the other end, you know. So they were saying you could never have enough hard drives because even the human brain itself is so complex. Like, how the fuck would you? Do you know what I mean? So in theory, they know how to do it, but I'm not trying it.
But wasn't there the thing? Is it called? I might be wrong on this. Was it called the Philadelphia experiment or something like that?
That was the atomic bomb. The Philadelphia
No,
experiment.
that was the Manhattan Project, wasn't it?
No, that's right, yeah.
But the Philadelphia experiment, I don't know, Mike, if you can find it there. They teleported a boat
Bollocks.
out of honest to God.
They actually did it.
They teleported the boat. The boat was in the dock one minute and then gone the next.
No way.
Mikey, look it up there. The Philadelphia
I don't
Project.
believe this. I don't believe it.
That's
They
fake news.
They actually
It's
teleported.
It's not. I don't know if it was Oppenheimer and all.
What was your man's name? It was Copperfield, I'd say. He was like, now you see the boat. Na, 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 na,
Shit, yeah,
na, 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 na.
That's
Now
all an
everyone-
illusion.
There it
man.
is.
He's standing by the boat and he's like, okay, now everyone turn around. And then
When
everyone
when-
turns around.
when the
And
boat
then they turn back around.
When the
But-
boat remolecularized, it was
Molecular.
That's
it
a
was
film,
basically it's not. There was crew members stuck in the body and stuff like that. Like they were half meshed with the wall.
Ah,
and
that
shit like
can't be real, man.
Read through
There's
it,
no
man.
way.
Read
They
through
were
it.
stuck and full of semen.
Mikey's going to debunk this.
Semen in the hull.
In the first experiment, an alleged method of electrical field manipulation allowed the USS Eldridge to be rendered invisible on
Eldridge.
July 22nd, 1943, in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. The second rumoured experiment was a teleportation and small-scale time travel of the USS Eldridge from the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard to Norfolk, Virginia in 1943.
It says in the bracket with the ship sent a few seconds in the past.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This can't be real, man. How am I only hearing about this now? This happened back in the 40s.
Honestly, man.
So that'll tell you what they're holding back. They know some stuff.
They
we
know
don't
some
know.
shit, man.
They
They
know
do.
a lot
They know
of
some
shit.
shit, man.
I can't for a second believe that this really
Yeah,
happened.
but like that's all
I'm gonna have to look in-
conspiracy
I'm up
again.
for the night now looking at this.
It's not conspiracy. It's fucking. It's documented fact. Like this is shit.
Is
that
it
they're-
peer reviewed?
Yeah.
Who paid for
that's-
this research? You see, I'm very paranoid here, like, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that they could do shit like that back then, like.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard no more about it. It's one of those things now as well where if they do come across certain technologies, they'll be like, well, I can't know about this.
There
you
was
know?
there was
Imagine if someone figured out how to just teleport a bomb into the middle of the White House. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Boom. You don't need to get anywhere near the place. So if they did come across that kind of technology, you can be sure it'll be buried. Like.
Oh yeah.
No
yeah.
one would be safe. I'd be teleporting myself into the safes of every bank around the country, man. There was actually a film like that called Jumper or something. Did you see that?
Yeah.
There was a fella where he was just like, it shows him in his bedroom and he vanishes and then he appears again with a sack full of cash and he's like dumping it all out into his room and then he vanishes again. He's just appearing in all these different banks like rocking all the money and then throwing it all into his room.
Oh, wouldn't you
I
love
was
it,
like,
man?
man,
Jesus,
can't
wouldn't
wait
you
till there's
love
an app for that.
Dig more into that, man.
Class.
It's a hell of a story.
I definitely
It's a
fucking
hell
will.
of a story. And there's another one. Another one then about alien contact. This fella, I can't think of his name now. Phil Schneider. He claims to have worked in Area 51, and he's seen like alien spacecraft being reverse engineered and all this kind of thing.
What
But
about
I might have seen him.
Bob Lazar?
Bob Lazar? This is part of this whole thing. Yeah.
I told you Mikey's well in there, like.
So you'll have heard of Phil Schneider, so would you?
Yeah, would you?
Rob's cousin.
Holy shit!
You've seen him as a Martian.
I'm lost here, I know, because I'm
Well,
more
yeah,
of a
no,
realist, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
but
believe
this-
in the
this
real
shit-
world.
You don't want to hear, man.
Well,
you can't handle the truth.
This is pretty much real world, man. I mean, like these boys. I don't know if you hook them up to lie detectors and all this kind of thing, man. They'll go through anything. Like they'll swear blind on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but
The thing is,
scientists will say this shit to get funding, you know.
But
what I mean?
but like, do you really think like?
But sure, what? Sorry to cut across. You know, what's to be gained by getting funding for something they're trying to hide? What's to be gained by what funding is he going to get?
Well, I tell you, if us here sitting down doing a podcast knows about it, then how would I?
Well, we know about it because it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's a case that he went public with his story. Is he dead now? I think he's dead.
he's
Is he?
dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyone who comes up with stuff like that as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
has an
they're-
accidental
yeah.
death
Yeah, I
somehow.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
That Bob Lazar, he's saying like that people tried running him off the road, shooting him every fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
he
And they're talking about like the greys and all these kind of different aliens, and they
Classes
know
and
which ones want to hurt
shapeshifters.
us, and they know which ones want to be friends with us.
Yeah, there's an awful lot
all
of
this
people
kind
out
of
there
shit, like-
saying that they've been communicating with them for years. Like, but you, Russell, like, do you not think that there's more intelligent life out there in the universe? That we're the only ones out of all these hundreds of millions and
but
billions
I wouldn't
of
say
planets?
we've made contact.
Why not?
But then he said there is a few aliens out to hurt us, and that is it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And but there's, no, again, I don't know the exact thing, but apparently there's a specific reason as to why they haven't, and I think it's because one of the other groups hasn't actually, like, they won't allow them. They're much more powerful. No, dude, sit down for a couple of hours, man. Sit down.
The Galactic Federation are watching. They're like, not allowed going in there,
If
bro.
there's one thing I never liked, is science fiction. And that's what a lot of it is.
I do love a good conspiracy theory, though. I think most of them are just ridiculous and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
I find it hilarious to believe that, or to learn that people believe in some of this stuff. But some of them then are like,
It's not
they
beyond,
get you
it's
thinking.
not beyond,
But what gets me is, like, I remember hearing about shit years ago where these people who come across like lunatics going, I'm telling you, this is what the government is planning. And you'd be like, man, you are a fucking, like that Alex Jones and those fools. You'd be like, Jesus, these fellas are fucking mental. Like, and then all the shit they're talking about has happened.
Starts
like,
happening.
They're microchipping people now, like. They're literally microchipping people. I heard about that years ago, RFID chips that they were going to implant under people's skin.
Yeah.
It's all happening, like.
Yeah.
It's as crazy as it
is,
sounds.
People want to keep track of their kids, so
Yeah.
they're putting implants into their children.
Yeah.
That's right, Jay. I see something about that.
There's a lot of
recently as
companies, especially in America, there's companies where if you work there, like, you have to get an RFID chip. And this will be really handy. We can monitor the amount of hours you spent on site and you can clock in using this chip and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's going to get, like, the way the conspiracy theorists...
We can also count how many pumps you had with your
but
wife.
there's a
way-
word for that.
The
man.
way the conspiracy theorists make out, though, is that, like, in the future, everyone's going to have this chip implanted. It's going to be our RFID chip. Cash is going to be done away with. It's almost done away with at this stage anyway. Everyone's using card all the time. A bit of
Yeah, but I
plastic.
watch on my
Yeah,
phone, man.
exactly, yeah. So, but they're going to say, what's the difference between that and having this chip in there? You might as well just have the chip. You're never going to lose it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So people will be like, right, cool, we get this chip, or at least our children will never go missing, all this kind of shit. And then there's the grid. So everyone is on this grid. When you get paid, your money goes into your bank account. You never actually see any of the money.
You don't
like,
know,
you don't
yeah.
know. Like, it's just digits on a screen. It's all digital. So that's then linked to your chip. So you go into Tesco, you buy your stuff, you wave your wrist over it, pay for it with your chip. And that's it. And then the whole New World Order shit comes in where, you know, the Illuminati takes over, right? And if you try to stand up against them, then they switch off your chip. You don't exist anymore.
All right, listen.
Everything about you is stored in this chip. It replaces your PPS number, your card, all your identity. Everything is all on this chip. So if you try to rise up, you will be switched off. You're off the grid and you're gone.
One thing I want to
That's
ask
one
you is,
conspiracy theory.
do you think people will actually let that kind of social control happen?
It's
They're
already
letting it
happening.
happening now, man.
How's it already
I walk
happening?
into Tesco's, man, and I just do that with my watch and pay for shit, man.
That's different.
Like, we
That's
are
a
all
watch.
walking
you can
around.
Take that off.
But, like-
you can take that watch off and leave it at home if you want to.
You
But
can,
listen
yeah,
to
you
this.
can.
You know, you're not controlled by it.
But if
You-
I don't have-
Maybe
but-
you
but-
might
but-
be.
But if I don't have a wallet, then I can't pay for shit.
You're talking about letting this shit happen. We're asking for it. Like, people are asking for this. That's the way they set these things up. You're walking around now with a tracking device in your pocket
Yeah.
and a device that has a microphone where people can listen to you. This is like George Orwell 1984 shit.
1984,
Yeah,
yeah.
did you read
There's-
that book,
there's-
The Big Brother thing? Like, this is like,
There's
we're
a
practically there now, like, because they have cameras everywhere out in the streets. You're carrying a camera around with you. You're carrying a microphone in your pocket and a tracking device.
And I'm
They can
also
switch
wearing-
those on
and
anytime
I'm
they
also
want.
wearing a wire.
Yeah,
there's
so am I.
there's a mode on the iPhone, okay, that when you're walking down the road and you've got headphones in, it's basically speech and listening mode.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can allow the microphones on the iPhone to do the hearing for you.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we are controlled by technology, but everyone has a choice to be technology free if they want.
Yeah.
You know, so that you have a choice there.
But that's what
why
I brought
the likes
this-
of that will never be left.
Oh, man, it'll happen, I'm telling you. What I brought up the last
You
time
want it
was...
to happen,
no,
yeah.
but like, to talk about like the next step in human evolution is that humans are going to merge with technology and blah, blah, blah. And artificial intelligence is coming in now in a big way and it's only getting better and better. And so, like, we've already merged with technology. Fucking everyone has their phone on them. Your phone basically does your thinking for you. Like, there are people out there, their spelling has gone to shit because they don't fucking spell anymore. Their phone will predict it for me.
get
Their
me
maths has gone to
started
shit
with
because they haven't had to do maths in years. I have a calculator in my pocket. Why do I need to know? It's dumbing you down, like, whether you realize it or not. But at the same time, it's kind of making you more intelligent. It's giving you more knowledge. I wouldn't say it's making you more intelligent, but you have all the answers to everything there in your pocket. You can just Google shit.
How
so
bad?
you're more or less merged with technology as it is. So as it goes on, it's only going to become more and more. You see the shit that Tesla is working on. Elon Musk is working on it. Like, it's called neural link.
Yeah.
Where basically something like a smartphone or something that is going to be linked directly into your brain. I don't know how the fuck he's going to do this, but he hasn't given out many details about it at all. But that's something that he's working on.
Yeah, you're going to be able to upload your intelligence or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know. I think it's just, it'll be like something like a smartphone, I think, like that will be directly in your brain. So you can just look things up in your head and do maths really fast and all that kind of shit. Like
most of the processors now on a lot of these iPhones and stuff like that, man, are learning processors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's, you know, computers and all now I've gone to the stage of learning. But the reason I say this, right, is because literally only before I came over here tonight, and I don't know if you can Google this as well, Mikey, and see what the story is, but there's a fella who claimed, actually his name is Mike. He's like a French Canadian or a French speaking Canadian citizen, something like that, claims to have been to the year 3700 AD.
Bullshit.
And he brought back a piece of a robot, but apparently the robots have all taken over, and they're killing people. And the only way that they didn't completely wipe out the entire I'm listening to myself saying this now.
It's a cybernetic organism from the future.
Hey,
get to the chopper.
Get down again.
Lay off the magic mushrooms on
This is him, look.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, what were you saying anyway? The only reason they haven't wiped this out completely
was because they couldn't hack the nuclear codes.
Bruh.
And another thing as well, you had an agenda, so come in here tonight.
But what?
I had an agenda.
Yeah. No, this shit just came out of
the
nowhere.
only reason why, like, you know. Huh?
No, well, the only reason I bring...
I know.
Fuck off.
Twisting things. See,
that's happened to me an awful lot lately. I'll be having a slag with someone and they feel the need to explain themselves.
Yeah.
Sure, come here. Look at the fucking thing he brought back from the future. Looks like about 3 nutcrackers. Look at it.
What is it?
Look at the fucking thing.
I can't really make it out. Is there a better picture?
It's like a jockey off a bike.
It's like the bit off a ratchet strap.
For fuck's sake. If that was made out of some element that they couldn't identify now, you'd say fair enough. What the fuck was that?
He's hiding his identity as well.
Look at that fucking thing.
He can go fuck himself, whoever he is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these old fools out there, like, talking shit.
Taking too many magic mushrooms.
Could be. Could be something like that, yeah. Definitely could be.
Could be.
Or that kind of shit can happen to people as well without even taking anything. Like, like, you know, there's a gland in your brain that can secrete DMT, like, and that'll just send you launched off into another universe, and you swear it really happened and shit, like.
Because the wires are crossed in the brain.
It happens to people from
due to mental health issues.
No, it happens to people from meditation and shit. That you just know you have this outer body experience, and
man, I tried meditation many a time.
Yeah, but this is like
Kundalini.
Yeah, the Kundalini rising, where all your chakras are aligned, and then boom, you're gone. Apparently, it's fucking terrifying anyway when it happens. It genuinely happens. Like, they say, like, this is the same thing that causes you to dream when you're asleep. It's this DMT, like, is secreted inside your brain, and you're basically hallucinating while you're lying in bed, like.
Dreams.
So, you're way off, yeah. So, like, apparently you can access that. This is like, a lot of people reckon that this is the whole reason for meditation, is to be able to control that gland, like chakra they call it, to be able to just, you know, go off whenever you want and learn shit.
Well,
like an old vision quest.
That's the whole Kundalini shit. Like, that's what they do. Like, that's, you know, that's enlightenment. Then, like, once you're able to do that, like, you can go off into the spirit realm. They've all different names for it. Like, you know.
I think half of them are bullshitting to sell books and tapes and fucking, know what I mean?
It's true facts, bro. It's true facts. So that's where Buddhism came from, like. That's the original Buddha, like. That's what Buddha means, like, to be enlightened.
Did you ever get around to watching Silicon Valley?
No.
Oh, please watch it, man. There's a fella in it. He plays Deadpool's. I can't think of his name.
I know the fella. The
curly hair fella. Yeah.
Or the fella who plays Deadpool.
No, that's Ryan Reynolds.
His friend.
The man behind the bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the actor. I can't think of his name. But in one of the episodes in it, man, he goes on a vision quest, and his thing is he's gone into the desert, and he's got like a fucking bag of mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms.
And he says what he's going to do, he says he's going to drop the whole lot of them, and by the time he gets there, he'll be all kind of mushroomed up, and he'll be ready to go on his vision quest to get a name for the company, basically.
Fucking
but he gets caught in LA traffic,
Oh, fuck that.
And he is wrecked
Hilarity
off his
ensues.
brain, man. Oh, seriously,
man.
go watch it, man.
I'm mad to try him. I'm mad
we
to try
have
him.
this same debate.
This is another
no,
thing.
You're bringing
No.
up old hurts now here, Dave.
This is another thing. The FDA apparently just see, I said apparently again.
Apparently,
we were talking about that the other night. I say apparently way too much on this podcast, but it's because I don't like to make a definitive statement about something unless I'm 100% sure. You know?
Exactly.
So if I say apparently, it's like I don't know, but this is what it looks like.
Now, ladies
so
and gents,
apparently,
you know.
the FDA have approved magic mushrooms. The use of magic mushrooms to treat like depression and PTSD and psychological
Actually, yeah, I heard
illnesses and
this.
shit. People have been doing this like for ages now, using them like there's like guided, you know, like maybe a shaman or like you're not going to find a shaman everywhere. So there are people out there who just kind of know their shit.
Ebenezer
A few
good.
shams around Limerick will get you good mushrooms.
Sham.
The only shaman I know is Ebenezer good.
No.
Remember that song? He's a good.
Yeah.
Remember that song? Ebenezer good.
But yeah, they're
Right.
doing this fucking
His band.
they're doing
I
this
remember the song.
what's happening now? Yeah, but they've been doing this shit anyway where they're treating all kinds of shit like depression and even addiction, like, which is a weird one. They've used like magic mushrooms or psilocybin mushrooms, the proper name for them. They use them to treat people with addiction. And even like DMT and shit, they've used that as well because it's just like it just fucking blows your mind, like, do you know what I mean? And you start looking at things a different way. You see things from a completely
You're
different
supposed
perspective.
to have
and-
a spiritual awakening.
yeah, exactly. It's all like you can call it whatever the fuck you want. Like to me, it's just it opens your mind and makes you think differently.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's definitely going to do that.
Yeah, but many
people-
people have achieved that without the use of a chemical.
yeah.
That was the debate we were having the last time.
But this is what I was just talking about a second ago. That was meditation and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
And what happens is it creates DMT in your head. That's the goal. It's DMT and psilocybin are very similar compounds. Like.
You need to stop drinking fluoridated water first of all.
Oh
before you go into all this.
yeah. In case anyone was planning on going off on a vision quest, so if you're drinking fluoridated water, that calcifies the pineal gland in your
Exactly.
brain, and that's the one that secretes the DMT, and that's why they put it in the
Where
water,
did you
man.
learn that?
That's
Drug
why. That's
school?
why, bro. That's why
class.
that's why they put it in the water
Dumb you
to
down.
dumb us down, so none of us can achieve enlightenment. They don't want us
More easily
realizing our
controlled.
own power.
We are back to the conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
We're going to be
Man, there's-
chemtrails and fluoride now.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory for fucking everything. But yeah, look, FDA approves magic mushroom. Mikey closed it just as I was reading that.
Yeah, they're open for
Bruh.
half an hour.
FDA approves magic mushroom psilocybin therapy trial for treatment-resistant depression. So this is for people who are so severely depressed that the treatment that they've tried hasn't worked. Like,
Yeah, but how much research has gone into it?
it's been done for years.
How
man.
many
Years.
depression cases have
done,
come back and
they
said,
have
"Look."
done. They've done clinical trials on it, like, and they've studied the parts of the brain that psilocybin affects and everything. It's fucking fascinating, man. There's a man out. Well, he's dead now, God rest his soul. But there was a man called Terence McKenna.
You overdosed the mushrooms.
That's fucking nah. I listen to his shit nearly every night of the week. He has like so many lectures online where he talks about his whole theories on it. It's fascinating, fucking fascinating. He reckons that it played a massive role in our evolution, like from the primate to now, like. So it's fascinating shit, man. And it all makes sense the way he explains it. Like, it makes a lot of fucking sense.
Look, anyway,
Homo
worded right.
erectus was getting
So-
wrecked on mushrooms.
It all depends on what you want to do with it. Like, you can take a load of mushrooms and go to a rave, and you're going to have a completely different type of experience.
That's
He
true.
recommends sit on your own in a dark room, pitch dark, and take them, like, and then just let your mind do the work, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking crazy, like.
Look,
Hey, look.
anything worded right would convince you of anything. Like, if somebody can word
No,
something right in
it's-
convincing you.
It's a lot of shit.
I don't
There's
know.
a
Look,
lot of shit to it.
I'm seeing an awful lot lately.
Trump is having a fair go at that, isn't he?
And that's true. I'm seeing an awful lot lately about depression is real, anxiety is real, you know. But
Yeah.
but happiness is real too. Contentment is real. Why isn't anyone putting up inspirational quotes saying that? You know,
they do.
it's- They don't.
They
I
do.
don't see
Most
them.
of them are pricks.
It depends on what you look for on Facebook.
They do, like, that's the thing that I brought up the last time about the whole Sinead O'Connor thing, like, just using her as an example. All these people that are posting shit constantly, it's okay not to be okay. If anyone needs any help, I'm here.
Yeah, but
Mental illness is a big thing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then as soon as they see someone who's mentally ill, they're like, fucking whack job, looking for attention. Fuck her. Do you know what I mean? Like, make up your fucking mind. Like, are you concerned about people with mental illness or not? Or just shut the fuck up and stay out of it. Either way suits me, like, do you know what I mean? They'll be posting this shit all day. What do they call it? Virtue signaling, is it online? Oh, look how great I am. I'm here available to help. And then as soon as someone needs help, fuck him. laughing at people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But look, I prefer to see kids anyway experimenting with magic mushrooms than boiling nappies and fucking fanny pads.
What is
as
that
we call
about?
them.
Yeah, what is that about, man?
Man,
What
this
is
is
that
the...
about? They're actually drinking it.
Yeah. So
Isn't that what they're doing? They're drinking
here,
it.
this is it here, yeah. Teenagers boiling used ones, man. I didn't know it was used.
Used.
Trust Mikey
my
to find the
God.
worst one. Ugh. Teenagers boiling
time.
used sanitary
Big time.
pads and nappies to get high. Bruh. So, used, man. I didn't know it was used now.
The used pads they took from the trash were put in the boiling water. After it
my
cooled down,
God.
they drank it together, said Commander Suprin Ratro, head of the BNN in Central Java. Oh, Jesus. It's only down the road.
Fuck me, man. The shit that they're coming out with, Tide Pods and fucking smoking weird shit. Like, what? I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is in these nappies? Like, is it something? Is it a chemical that's in the nappy? It's probably that
something got
gel.
to do with the absorbent.
Yeah, don't they usually have like a gel or something in there,
do.
or
The
like a crystallized?
Yeah, but
shit
obviously
that
the
absorbs.
chemicals then from the actual feces and all that must combine with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That
So
gets
why
the
are
high.
they doing it with used ones? Like,
Yeah, and even use jam rags.
Jamrax. Oh,
But
boy.
like, you know, what chemical is a woman on her monthlies just say, like, you know?
The chemicals in the sanitary pads give those who drink it will have a feeling of flying and they can experience hallucinations. That's why.
Jesus
Oh my God. Well, be careful, kids. You're not actually flying, and if you're not careful, you could trip up and hurt yourself.
And what if you get it straight from the... And what happens if you get it straight from the source, Mikey?
Oh, come on. This is taking a fucking dive here now, man.
Are we making you uncomfortable?
Jesus.
You could have sat on the other side, Dave.
I know, yeah.
But then he would have been directly in my eye line.
Yeah.
But still, that's what I'm saying, like... Why?
Yeah,
What is the
that-
chemical
Yeah.
combination that is creating
There has to be.
this?
There has to be something got to do with the absorbent in the pads and maybe the water and then whatever is coming out of herself like.
And what if she's fond of the drugs herself? Then do you get more of a high?
I would say so, yeah.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Your missus wrecked on mushrooms at the time of the month and you take her pad off and go,
Oh, fuck. Man, you'll be coming back with some stories then.
Imagine
I'm
that.
telling you, I've been to the year 5000. Pigeons. You wouldn't
maybe
believe
that's what
it.
happened, Jermaine.
Pigeons are running the
Maybe that's
place.
what happened, Jermaine. Pigeons, huh?
Giant pigeons with robotic legs. Smoking fags. I don't know.
I tell her, do you know what? It's frightening the way society has gone and the way they can even come up with this.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
And you're
now.
saying people are dumbing down? I think kids are getting more intelligent these
Why?
days.
Because they're boiling nappies and drinking water.
Yeah, but think
You
about
just
it.
proved my point.
But how the fuck did they even come up with that and were able to figure out that
It's the
this
internet, man.
boiled
The
will give
internet.
me a high?
Some
I think
fucker.
that's genius, man.
some-
I wish I knew that years ago. I'd be a millionaire today, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's some fucker now found out something in college or something and told someone and it just spreads then. Do you know that there's a stuff in nappies that'll get you off your face?
Imagine that.
People figure shit out, man. You would know then as well. Would it
Could
be
we do it and sell it in
a
the
prison
street?
thing? Could have started in prison because they're resourceful fuckers, man. They figure
Yeah.
things out.
That's true.
I've heard of prisoners like boiling down shoe polish and shit and getting the alcohol out of it.
Yeah.
And like, who would even think of these things, you know? It's amazing what you'll think of when you have no resources.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you'll have to fucking work with what you can
you'll
get your hands
resort
on.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
They're able to like ferment orange peel for a couple of days to get like alcohol out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Drink
hooch.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that with any fruit, I suppose, really. Like, it's
Yeah.
kind of alcohol is really,
And
isn't it?
apparently when they have it in, then if
They do it in
they
the,
open,
in the
they have to
toilet
leave
bowl,
out a
don't
bit
they?
of air every once in a while because if they don't do that, it'll explode. You know what I mean?
Straining it with their sock. Then.
Man, if I was doing years in prison, I'd probably try it though. Anything to just fucking take your mind off things for a while, like.
Yeah.
You'd be
Well,
mad
you'll
for
be-
an escape,
You'll
like.
be too busy balls deep and
I probably
a few
would,
men
yeah.
anyway, like, you know, alcohol be the last thing on your mind.
I'll be giving them the alcohol. I'll be like, hooch time. Who wants some hooch, guys? Come on into my cell here, drink a bit of that hooch there, say nothing.
Queues outside.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for the guard. Drink it all quick. Boom. First you give the hooch, then you get the hoop.
Oh, Jesus. Chocolate
Ah,
starfish,
sure,
huh?
man. It's not gay if it's in prison, like, isn't that it?
No, what happens
Prison
in prison
rules.
stays in prison, like, you know. Okay,
Oh, fuck's sake, yeah.
But how the fuck did it come up with this shit, man? It's frightening.
I don't know.
It is
Crazy.
frightening. Like, what has the future to hold if they're coming up with these things? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, sure, look, talking about coming up with things, this fucking thing again, like, world's first oral sex
well, that's
robot.
coming into things, not coming up.
Allow me to read. Yeah, let me read the fucking heading first. People don't know what that joke was about now. See?
They will when you read it.
World's first oral sex robot studies hours of porn to create top 10 techniques. They have this like robot head that I think has some kind of oh, look at that.
Look at it. It's like a Brita filter. It's like a Brita filter. Imagine keeping that in your fridge. What are you doing in the kitchen, love? Fuck off.
I'll be with you in a second.
Daddy,
I'm
what's
coming,
that?
I'm coming.
I told you don't come in when I'm vacuuming. Fuck's sake, man. That so yeah, like that's I don't even think that's the one I saw, but
It has
I
a
think
10-speed setting and even more pauses for real life effect.
10-speed setting.
the one that I saw, it was like a robot's head, like with a mouth and all that shit. But it's actually watching thousands of hours
There
there.
it is
Look,
there.
yeah, like it's watching porn all day and picking up on techniques to give a good blowjob. Fucking hell, like
And what if I have some
would
malfunction?
not put my dick in there for no one.
Lads,
I don't trust technology that
And you
much,
have
lads.
put it in some
I'm
dodgy
telling you,
places.
if I-
Come
telling
here.
you, if I won't do it, like
Can you imagine the test centre? Did it feel real to you? Real? The first time I did it with it, I got the clap.
lads, over 150,000 was raised in a crowdfunding campaign to get the product to market in record speed.
Fucking way.
a lot of interest in this
A
product.
lot of men who were sick of begging their missus for one.
Fuck me. Look at the face though, man. She looks kind of evil, like. Imagine that looking up at you and you're like, oh,
know,
will I
yeah.
put it in?
Russell wouldn't mind it, huh?
Man, I
Wouldn't-
don't
it doesn't do it for me, Mikey, funny enough.
Yeah, I'll go out.
as much as I love technology, like, and I love using some new technology to make life easier, all that shit, I love all that, but I don't trust it. Like, I've seen how things can go wrong so easily. What happens, like, if there's a glitch in her, all of a sudden it just clamps down in her dick and you can't get it off?
Oh,
Like,
Jesus
And
Christ.
what if she
Robot
gets
jaw.
a virus? Will you have to go to the STD clinic?
you have to treat her with her antivirus every week.
Yeah,
There'll
you'll have to go to the SQL clinic.
A bit of malware.
Fuck's sake. Oh, man.
No fucking way.
That's crazy.
know.
Do you know how bad I am, though? Do you know, like, automatic doors, like going into a shopping centre or anything like that, the way when you walk up to them, the door automatically opens. Like, I still don't trust those doors to this day. I always, like, step through them a bit quickly because I'm like, no, my luck now, everything will just malfunction as I'm walking through and it'll slam on top of me, like.
Man's watching Final Destination too much.
Yeah. But that's the kind of thing that can easily fucking happen, like. Do you know, these systems aren't perfect. There's always the potential for an catastrophe there. So, fuck putting your dick into something like that anyway.
I tell you, obviously it's men anyway who did this.
Well,
No
probably.
woman would go through the trouble anyway, I bet you.
Well, who knows, man.
They won't even go through the
there's-
trouble in another way.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's-
there's a
that's
version
why.
of it with a tongue.
But maybe that's women were sick to death of men going, go on, will you? You just suck it. Come on, just tonight. It's my birthday. Do you know?
I know.
So she was like, how am I going to stop him asking me?
You'll be looking
I
forward.
don't want to tell him to go somewhere else for it, so...
You'll be looking forward to
You know
steak
what I
and blowjob day every year, like.
Yeah, but then when she gets you that, then she'd be jealous of her doing it, yeah.
I doubt it.
Giving out, yeah.
Come home one day, the two of them boxing the head off each other
Yeah.
outside in the sitting room.
Imagine that.
You come home and see it in the wheelie bin.
The 10 oral sex experiences. Number 1, the full stroke. Number 2, intense edge. Number 3, fast stage. 4, slow and fast combo. 5, top stroke. 6, bottom stroke. 7, top and bottom stroke. 8, master stroke 1, my personal favourite. 9, master stroke 2. And 10, the full experience.
Oh,
full
Mikey
experience.
boy.
Is
What's the full
that's,
experience? The full experience,
hold on.
1 to 10.
Hold on, I wasn't even reading that. I knew that off by heart.
Does that number 10 say full AI experience?
Sorry, yeah.
Ah, you left out that part.
Shit.
Mikey,
Man, it's
will you
creepy.
print off that list for me?
I will, of course.
Full AI experience. What's the name of the website where you can buy these? Now, a friend of mine might be interested.
You're asking for a friend, yeah?
Yeah. Jude, I'd say, would be interested in that.
He would,
now.
wouldn't he?
Yeah, I'd love that. You wouldn't see him no more.
We don't see him no more anyway. Maybe he does have one.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. We haven't seen him in a few weeks.
Jude is
it-
part
at
of the
home?
research
See
study.
if you can get hold of the
Vacuuming.
patent there and see if Jude's name is anywhere near it.
Yeah.
He's part of the study.
Yeah, he was been crowdfunding, one of the people that's been crowdfunding this from the start.
What about this one?
Oh, look at this one now, huh? UK's youngest ever Euro Millions winner offering to pay a man £60,000 sterling to date her.
That's bullshit.
I've got my CV here on Google Drive. Hang on.
Is this, yeah, per year.
How old is she?
This is a fucking like.
If you're watching Love, I'll date you for nothing.
How old is she?
She is, I don't know. Was it 19 or something?
Oh, that's all right, so.
23.
23. So this is a 23-year-old woman, like, and she's good looking, isn't she?
Yeah,
She is good looking.
But loyalty is the most important thing to her. The money is a small price to pay.
Ah, for fuck's sake.
Like, you can't buy loyalty, you idiot. Like,
60 grand a year, yes, you can.
only to a certain point, though. Like,
I mean, you'd stay in your job for 10 years if at 60 grand a year, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but if you got a better offer, wouldn't you be gone? Like,
Well, true.
so,
If
but
there's one
that's a different kind of thing. Like,
If there's one thing people are thriving for is unconditional love.
Look.
But that's a condition. 60 grand a year.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's ridiculous.
But
I don't
still
care.
Still though, when that's making the conditions.
I don't care too much for money because money can't buy you love. That's my attitude.
Isn't it?
It's always been my attitude. Money can't buy you love.
No.
I just made that up there at the top of my
But
head.
like if she's worried about
That's
some man
profound.
using her for her money, why don't she just go and get a rich man? Because I say even if she didn't win the lotto, she would be able to pull that off in the first place. I know.
Yeah, I think
Look
this
at her,
is
man.
just
She can
like
pull anything she
she's,
wanted off me.
she's half dressed in all these photos and she's like
An
taking
attention
selfies.
seeker.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
surely what it is. Man.
This-
It's trying
this
to
is
get
just-
internet fame, like.
Yeah, a stunt now, like.
And what's she going to do? All she's going to do is attract a load of gigolos and men who think
Yeah,
that.
she's no problem getting a man. Do you know what I mean? Unless she's
Yeah,
just
she
a
hasn't got-
fucking head case, like.
That's
Maybe.
it, man.
No.
She must be a total fucking headbanger, like.
Or like
A bunny boiler.
she'll definitely like she could just post that picture. She could post that picture online and there's fucking men out there who probably pay her 60 grand a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a bit ridiculous, like.
I'd pay her 60 quid a night if she let me.
This whole selfies thing as well, man. I just fucking like I can't get my head around it, like.
Do you know
All
that?
these pictures of her.
Do you know that duck face that they do?
Oh,
Do you know what
stand
that came from? I don't know if you've ever fucking come across.
Donald.
If you ever come across this, no. Do you know that whole thing that they do?
Yeah, it came from
pout.
Donald.
No, it didn't. It came from the box of a porno where your one is given a blowjob, but they only show you her mouth
Oh yeah,
like that. You know, kind of
the dick is cut off.
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that whole duck face came from. And
Makes
now
sense.
fucking every cunt and his cat is at it.
It's the most retarded looking thing I've
Yeah,
ever seen.
It
like.
really is, like.
Full grown women on Facebook posting pictures of themselves. First of all, what the fuck are you posting pictures of yourself for? I don't get it, like. I know people there, man, that are like every day putting up selfies. I think I probably have 2 selfies to my name. And that was at times when I was like in a suit going to a wedding or something. So I was like, hey, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
Ah, but
but
you're
people who
greedy.
are just taking them
You're
all day,
selfish.
every day. Like, I don't get what goes on in a person's head, but they're sitting at home and they think, I know what I'll do.
I must take an old
I'll take
selfie
a picture
here
of
and
myself now and put it online there. People will love that.
Yeah,
But like, what the fuck?
You think they were
No one cares.
confident, but they're not.
No,
they're
definitely
more insecure.
not. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
more often than not, then like it's filtered to death.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? So what you're
That's-
getting in the photo is like it's not what
Man,
it is.
I see so many women putting up pictures with these filters on, like, and I feel like commenting and saying, you realise we've all seen you in person. We know you don't look anything like that picture. Why are you doing this? Like, you're not fooling anyone.
Do you know what
We've
I
all
think?
seen you in person.
I think, you know the way you have
fuck,
consumer rights and false advertising?
Yeah.
There should,
That is false advertising. Like,
there should be a body. There should be a body in this country that deals with that.
did you hear about your
turning
man?
up for a Tinder date,
Do you remember?
man?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you remember
That's
the
not
fella?
what your fucking photo
Exactly.
looks like. Why-
I would say it straight to her face, man.
Yeah,
if I was single and I was on that fucking one of these apps or whatever, saw a good looking girl and went to meet her and she didn't look like that, I'd say, who the fuck are
This
you
is
like? You are not
misrepresentation.
the girl that I've been talking to.
Do you
Like.
remember the man who sued his wife
That's
after
what I
he
was just
married
going
her?
to say, yeah.
Oh,
Because,
yeah, she wasn't as good
he-
looking without makeup on her.
No,
wasn't it? Or
he met
was it-
this girl, and this woman, whatever, and she was stunning looking. She looked like fucking, she was amazing. So he got with her, and then he had kids with her. And then his whole thinking was like he wanted to have good looking children. But then he found out that a few years before she met him, she had a load of plastic surgery and she'd altered her face completely. She was actually an ugly bitch before that.
Did you-
So he was like, I'm going to get ugly kids now. I
Look,
don't know if
this
he
is
got the
not
ugly
being
kids or not.
judgmental. Coming off now, we're coming off a bit judgmental and all that. Here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am
no
being judgmental. I'm judging people
But
that
I'm not.
think
I
I
know
want
that,
to see
like, you
50
know.
pictures of them every day.
Nah,
I don't.
but Look, you know.
No one does.
You're on your own the
Perverts.
judgment part, but I'm not judging all that. But I
You are.
think there should be a law against it.
Look
Because
look
I think
look
even the
you wanted to
blokes,
third row
listen,
down
it's
there,
not
Mikey.
just the women. The blokes are doing it too.
Oh, I know.
Very-
I didn't mean it was just women,
Yeah.
but there's fucking fellas doing it.
Very
It's
left,
just-
third row down. Is it like he looks like a melted black bag?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What in the name of Jesus Christ? Why would you do that to your face?
I don't get that pumping up your lips and any of that shit. Like.
I don't get it.
Like these, like even older women with frozen faces, like it's not human looking. Like humans get older, they have a bit of character to their face. You have some lines around your eyes and fucking few whatever. Like, how people want to just get rid of all of that, and you end up looking like a doll or something.
Surely you have to realise that
like an
that's
ugly
not
doll.
attractive.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's fucked.
There's a young girl like
her lips are huge for anyone listening to the audio. So you could just lick her lips and stick her to a window.
Man,
honest to God, man, lips look like.
She could suck a taxi through customs.
Yeah, but like a lot of these people, man, are just massively insecure, so they're trying to fix themselves and trying to be better. And like,
look at that.
Come here, did you watch Love Island?
No.
Did your missus watch it?
I probably did see.
There was a one on it, Megan, and they were shown before and after photos of her.
Yeah.
And this one, there's no way today, there's nothing else to say about it, but she was a munter, like an absolute fucking munter. And she put like about fucking 30 or 40, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 grand into her body. And then all of a sudden, like, she's on Love Island and the fucking tits are up there and the arse is out there. And
Do you think I could do the same?
That's
you could do with a pair of tits, alright.
That's
I have the tits. I just need to get the belly sorted.
That's all the Kardashians like.
That's
all. Have you seen
there should be a proper before and after there, man, where she has like glasses and all that kind of shit as well, man.
Yeah, there's like, man, there's before and afters for all the Kardashians. They don't
there it is. There, look, there it is. There, top right. There you go.
Yeah.
That's her before.
Yeah, like I wouldn't
That's
say
just
she was
her
that
geek
bad. Like.
look, man. If she took off them glasses and just straightened up, she'd look fine, I'd say.
But
No, I didn't say she put much into her now.
No, she
Man,
did.
no,
She
houses,
got her.
I wonder, does she want to put me into her?
She got her nose. She got her nose slimmed down.
Collagen.
Fucking lips pumped up, fake tits, all of that shit.
Tell her she'd have swollen lips by the time I was finished with her.
I don't know. Jesus Christ. That sounds a bit domestic abusey or something.
No.
Why would she get swollen lips?
You know.
Oh, don't answer that. Don't answer that. I know where you're going with it. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd bring her to a bee sanctuary or something like that.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah,
you could have gone with my midriff baiting off her lips.
Fucking Mel B. Yeah, I saw this online.
Yeah, did you see that?
I saw this online earlier. Mel B admits to snorting cocaine. Move that away from the mic, please. Be crackling everyone's ear. Mel B admits to snorting cocaine on X Factor as she battled claustrophobic marriage. Yeah, I saw earlier on that she admitted to. She said she was snorting 6 lines of coke a day. And everyone was like, 6 lines? 6. Only 6 lines.
More like 6 grams.
Probably, yeah, more like 6 grams.
The lines were probably 3 inches wide and 4 inches long.
No wonder they call her Scary Spice.
Oh, they're making a comeback as well.
Yeah. Apparently she blew all her money, didn't she? They were saying
she snorted it.
Yeah. She blew it like.
Yeah, up her nose.
Spent it on blow.
And I tell you, and it wasn't spice she was putting up her
Eddie
nose
Murphy,
either.
I think she has
She
a
has
child from Eddie Murphy.
Murphy.
She has,
and one from someone else, and one from someone else, and another from someone else.
Yeah, and America then is crazy like that. Eddie Murphy probably has, like, over here, like, child support is probably like 50 quid a week or whatever, I don't know. But you hear of these people, like, with celebrities, and they're getting paid billions a year, like, because they have a child from them.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Like, maybe it was one of the Kardashians or something like that. I don't know, but there was one of them said she didn't want the 20 odd grand a month child support that she was getting, 20k or something like that.
Yeah.
There's maybe it's not one of the Kardashians. I might be wrong there.
How did it justify that? Like
20 fucking K a month.
That's what I mean. What child?
What in the name of Jesus
how
Christ
many?
are you rearing that cost you
Wouldn't
20
it a
grand a
means
month?
test? It's
How
like
many-
here in Ireland. You
Yeah,
get
how many
means
school
tested.
books and shit are you buying? Like,
Yeah, but
child
it's all
needs
about
shoes.
your income. Your means tested on your income.
oh yeah, but like it doesn't matter. Like, if you're making 10 billion a year and you have to pay for a child, you shouldn't have to pay way more than anyone else. Like, the child costs the same to raise.
Well,
Like,
the child's living is dictated on your living, isn't it? You know.
there must be some element of that in there. Like, you hear of fucking women as well who divorce rich men, and then they're told that they have to pay her for the rest of her life as well, because that man got her accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and now that they're broken up, he has to maintain that lifestyle.
Ridiculous.
Alimony is called, isn't it?
That is ridiculous.
That's crazy. Like that's like that lifestyle was one of the perks of being with me. You're not with me anymore, so do you know what I mean? Do I still have to call over and have sex with her because she got used to that as well? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, obviously that's why she's divorcing you.
It's not bad, no, man.
It's called alimony, and the only thing that breaks that contract in is if she remarries.
I saw a bulge in his
Man,
eyes.
yeah.
Turns out it was his wallet.
There's no way she's getting remarried, so no fucking way.
How could she go after another man after you, like, you know?
This is true, yeah.
It's true, no?
Yeah. But yeah, fuck it, I don't know. It's been a year already anyway.
I know.
It's crazy to think, isn't it? Like it actually took me 2 years to get this started, like.
Yeah.
So this has been like 3 years. Like I've been working away on this, tipping away at it bit by bit. Fucking hell.
I think it worked out good though, because I think if it happened 3
yeah.
years ago, people wouldn't even be watching it.
Yeah. Even now people are still asking me what's a podcast, like.
Yeah.
You do a podcast, what is it? And a lot of people didn't want to know, what's it about though? Like, what's it about? And I'm like, I feel like making a compilation video of just snippets from all the episodes and just like put it up as like, this is what the podcast is about. The most random shit ever. One thing after another.
Does anyone think it's mad like that in maybe 500 years time with whatever the internet is, that we could all still be on the internet, fucking people be watching us as if we are Charlie Chaplin or something.
Yeah. We'll be mega stars by then.
State of these fellas.
Immortalized.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm happy though with the way things have gone with it, like so far over the last year, you know. It's grown steadily, like when we were first like putting up episodes, I'd post it, and like, you know, you have if for anyone who's never had a like page or a business page on Facebook, when you post something on a page like that, it gives you analytics, like it shows you how many people that post reached and how many interactions it had. All that stuff comes up, like. So at the start it was like I'd post like episode 4 is up or whatever, and it'd be like, this post has reached 60 people, you know, and fucking it had like 5 likes, and I know all of the people who liked it. And like now it's like this post, every post is reaching thousands of people, like, you know, 20 odd thousand or more in some cases. Like all the fucking videos that I post are getting hundreds of views on Facebook and shit, and more on YouTube. I think the YouTube channel is up around near the 10,000 views, like, you know, for 23 episodes isn't too bad, like, especially for a lot of unknown lads, like. In fairness, Walshy was the biggest factor in getting this out, like, hands down. Like, he has a fucking huge audience, man, and he came out here and set in on a load of podcasts. I wasn't expecting him to ever do that many podcasts, like, but he just kind of got into it, like. And then I never asked him to share it on his social media or anything like that, because I wouldn't, you know, that's cheeky to do that, like. But like, he spent a few years building up that audience, and like, without even being asked, he just shared it a few times, like on his Snapchat and Facebook, and he got it out to thousands of people, like.
Those Peppa Pig videos are fucking
They're brilliant,
hilarious,
man. I've seen,
they're
like,
absolutely hilarious.
I've seen other people doing them, Peppa Pig videos and all, like, and they're just shit compared to his, like. They're fucking hilarious. He puts a lot of fucking time into him, man. If you ever watch like the character's mouth moving, he does like, he watches that and then makes it fit exactly, like. And it's just little details like that makes it so much better when you're watching it, like. But yeah, fair play to him, man, because he definitely has been the biggest factor in getting it out there, like. But yeah, we've had fucking, like, over the last year, we've had people contacting us from America twice, like. There was one Irish lad contacted us from America, said he loves listening to this, reminds him of being back home, whatever. There was another American lad that sent in a big fucking poem, actually. I meant to read it out about the podcast, like.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it myself. But
there's someone in Germany as well.
There's people, there was a fella sent us in a video, actually. I fucking completely forgot about it, because I was busy at the time when he sent it. A fella, Kevin, I think I know who he is, I think I know his brother, but sent in a video of a fella playing Grace, or the song Grace, playing that on a clarinet inside in the pub, and everyone just having a crack, like, and singing along to it or whatever, like. It was cool. I fucking can't even play it here now, but you know, shit like that, like, and people sending us in stories to talk about now, like. It's growing steadily, like. Obviously it'd be great if we had millions of views and millions of followers by now, but like, I was realistic about it from the start. I was like, this is something that, like, an Irish audience especially isn't really familiar with a podcast, or what it is, like, you know. Plus we'd no real plan with this. We just said, we're just gonna, my whole plan for this was to just get everyone in a room and just hit record and just see what happens. Do you know what I mean? And just let it grow organically like that and see where it goes, like. And
your promise was broken to me, I know.
Yeah?
You told me I was going to have loads of groupies by the end of the year.
You do, man.
I don't see them.
They're sending messages into the inbox the whole time. I'm just keeping them away from you. I'm thinking about you, man.
Keep you out of jail.
Trying to keep you free, like.
Keep them safe, yeah.
Like, fuck me. I'd write back to him and be like, love, I would pass on your number to him, but you don't know what you're getting yourself into there. Yeah. No, it's crazy though. Like fucking, even when I look at the analytics as well, like there's listeners in like America, Japan, China, UAE, United Arab Emirates, fucking Russia, everywhere. Like people are listening. The internet is crazy. Like they're probably mostly Irish people, I'd say, that are living in those countries. But still, to think that people all over the world can just access it, like it's mad shit.
I got a hold of it. I kind of watched the first, say, I think it was like I copped onto it maybe around about episode 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, yeah, do you know what? No, that's a bit because I'm not usually like there's normally only kind of 1 or 2 that I would listen to.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan's one of, you know, I like Russell Brand's one as well.
I just love listening to him talk. Man. He can talk about anything. I love it.
I love the Belgian dinosaur. That was fucking hilarious.
I just have a thing for language and shit. Like the way he talks, like the vocabulary on him is ridiculous. Like it's class to listen to him. I did. I caught a hold of it, and it's just like, you know, it was kind of lads sitting down, having a bit of banter, having a bit of crack, like, and you know, you kind of it would kind of remind you of, you know, maybe if you're sitting down in the pub, 3 or 4 people, exactly.
You know,
That's what it is.
Beers and some of the shit that you come out with.
Yeah,
the shit we talk about here, even tonight, man, you'll be talking about that down the pub sometimes as well.
Yeah, exactly. You'll hear about
more of
things.
A boisterous setting, but
you'll hear about subjects on this that you might not have heard of before. And then like the biggest thing for me is that you're going to get an honest person's opinion on it. Like there's no one here being told you can't say this and you can't say that. You can't talk about this subject. You can't say this about him or her. There's none of that shit. Like any kind of chat show that you watch on TV or anything like that, as soon as there's all like a company involved and producers and all that shit, everything is fucking filtered and you can't. And as well, like one of the things that I want to start doing in the coming year, like, is start getting guests on and let them fucking actually talk. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see, like the Late Show, when someone comes on there, they're on for like 3 minutes or something, 3 or 4 minutes. They don't really get to tell their story about what's going on. Like, it's great and all, it gets the word out there, but you don't really get a proper sense of who they are or what their story is like.
And they're
something like this.
Exactly.
And then you always see, like, when they start talking as well, there's someone in fucking Turbridge's ear going to get him off that subject. He's like, oh, no, look, we won't go into that. No, we won't. Like, fuck you, go into that.
Scripted.
Do you know what I mean? People want to hear it, go into it.
It is.
So that's it. Like, I have a few other ideas as well for things that I want to start doing in this coming year. Like, hopefully even next week or so, we'll probably introduce 1 or 2 segments and things, you know. But that should be good.
We can try get our good president in to say a few words for the podcast.
We just get you in.
It's brilliant.
I get Stewie Griffin in. I'm like, hey Stewie, what's the crack with you?
You go and fuck yourself.
You'll have to get a fucking booster share from Michael D. Higgins.
It's fine, I'll get a little box and I'll stand at the side of the table.
Oh man. Yeah, fucking, do you know who I'd actually love to, even whether it was on here or not, I would love to just see her put somewhere in front of a fucking camera and talk properly. Vera Toomey. Did you come across her? That's the woman who's been trying to get medicinal cannabis legalised for her child for years now.
Yeah. She walked up
from Cork to Dublin.
What a woman, man. What a fucking mother. Like, her story is unreal. And she's someone who's going to be remembered, like, as a pioneer, like someone who set a precedent in this country. Like, where there's like, she's got the license now, but I saw a video just recently of her explaining how the license works that she has. It's fucking, there's so many conditions on it. It has to be renewed every 3 months. She still has to go all the way to Holland, I think, to buy the stuff and bring it back. And like, she has the license in, so they don't take it off her at the airport.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous, the whole system. I'd love to actually get her in and sit down and go through it and explain to people what the fuck it is like. Because people like have this idea still, marijuana, cannabis is the devil. You can't be messing around with that.
It's still demonised.
They're like, Jesus Christ, like, that's her.
What is Ireland's biggest export these days?
Or people.
No. Yeah. Apart from people, pharmaceuticals. Yeah. So the one thing the Irish government, they don't want to take on the pharmaceutical companies. Simple as, you
That's
know
what it is, man. They're blocking that shit because it's
money.
A plant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you have all these
cheap.
big pharmaceutical companies out there
They
who are
just grow
selling
like
you.
that.
Yeah,
And if
you
you should happen to set it on fire, there are some effects.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man, had me sleepy. You might have thought that guy was dead, but he ain't dead.
the thing about it is like you can't patent that plant. So these big pharmaceutical companies can't say, "Oh, we own this plant. No one else can have it." If they put the truth out there like that, this fucking plant can heal all these different illnesses. Everyone could, if it was legal, everyone could grow it themselves at home. Pharmaceutical companies lose too much money.
Yeah. But you
That's the shit behind it. Like,
you see actual doctors coming on like prime time and everything, going, "Oh, this needs to be regulated," as if they're the nanny of the country. Like, but telling people need to regulate it, and they're fucking letting people prescribe fucking Ritalin to a 5-year-old.
This is it. Like,
but it does need to be regulated.
Xanax
like
to a 16-year-old.
You can be sure that there are people out there who will have bad reactions to cannabis as well, like just like every other fucking medication that's out there. Regulate it and do what the fuck you need to do, but put it out there, like make it available for people. Do you know what I mean? Do your clinical trials and your studies and fucking just put it out there. Like, you see the difference in her daughter, man. It's unbelievable. Like, Ava, her daughter's name is unbelievable. Like that girl has a serious form of epilepsy where she was just having seizures all fucking day long, every day. And she put her on this cannabis oil, I think a few years ago now, about 2 years ago or something like that, and it stopped. She just stopped, like, and the child is able to play and live her life, like.
They're putting CBD oil into vape juice now and all that.
Yeah. But that's CBD oil now. You see, that's why like I would love to have someone like her, because she'd obviously know a lot about it as well, to sit down and talk about this and explain the differences to people. Because like the stuff that she's using, as far as I know, is more similar to the Rick Simpson oil type of stuff. Like it's has THC in it, like, which is the psychoactive stuff. So CBD oil doesn't have that, or has a
tetrahydrocannabinol.
Yeah, it has a
Even
trace
people
amount of
with
it.
Parkinson's.
Yeah,
It
I've
stops
seen
the
it.
shaking.
Yeah.
Apparently, man, like you can look this up online, like that back in the day, back in the 50s and shit like that. Like it was widely available. Like you could go in and buy bottles of this cannabis oil. It'd have the cannabis leaf on the fucking bottle and everything.
Yeah.
And it was just used as like a general medication for everything. Do you know the way? Like we have a lot of that shit. Like, oh, take a bit of this for that. Take a bit of this.
Did you ever watch the Coca-Cola Wars, man?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, like how
cocaine,
he first came out with Coca-Cola, there was cocaine in it. It was like a syrup first, but it was only meant to say stop headaches, and it was a medicinal thing. But then it took a whole different route.
But fucking cannabis, man, has been used like for probably, I don't know, for centuries.
Was it the prohibition or something like that got it illegalized?
That was alcohol, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, no. But I mean, it was around that.
Yeah, there was a mad story about how it became illegal the first time in America. Like, I've heard a few different versions of it. I heard one story where there was a man who owned a paper factory.
Cotton, was it, or paper?
He owned a paper factory, said, where he made paper. This could be wrong now. This is one story that I heard, but apparently he owned this paper factory, and one of the businesses that he had then because of that was a newspaper printing company, and they were starting to use the cannabis plant to make hemp paper, which apparently was even better again, and all this. So he started printing in his papers and all the dangers of cannabis, and he fucking basically hired professionals and all to just back up his story, like, do you know what I mean? So it was shit like that got it made illegal in the first place.
You could buy, like, inside in a shop, you could buy morphine, you could buy opium. Yeah. They were in drinks, advertised. They were all
cocaine was in it.
Cocaine as well. Yeah. But like they were all being sold openly up until people, it was the early 1900s they started then legalising them.
Yeah, people just lumped cannabis in with all of those. Then like it's not the fucking same thing. Like,
no,
do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's
don't get me wrong. There is a lot of problems in society with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because young lads have to go to certain people to get it, and
exactly.
it causes
That's
trouble
why
amongst families.
Fucking legalise it, man.
It needs to be taken.
Legalise it.
Like they did it in Colorado a few years ago, and as a like they taxed the living daylights out of it. But they fucking, for the dispensaries, man, the queues were out the fucking door morning, noon and night. And I think in the first year of it being legalised, they had, maybe the figures are wrong, but you'll get the idea.
I know what you're going to say.
They put was it something like $12.5 million into
28 million
into the schools.
In schools,
tax,
yeah.
Was it
that was at the end of the year when they looked at it, they had made more on taxes from cannabis than they did for fags, cigarettes and alcohol combined.
And,
they said to the people, do you want to like take a tax rebate, or will we put it into schools and shit like that? And they voted to spend it on schools and hospitals.
And what did I do straight away after I seen that? I went and I compared the population of Colorado to Ireland. Same population.
That's research.
4 million,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, around the same population, you know. So I said to myself, it'd be the same here in Ireland.
They should do that here, man, and fucking just legalise it. Like, a bit of fucking common sense, like, is all it takes, you know what I mean? Legalise it, even if you legalise it for people above 21 or something, because 18-year-olds mightn't like to hear this, but you're still a fucking child at 18. I was an idiot at 18, like, I was probably still an idiot at 21 and now, but anyway, you're a bit more clued in by the time you're 21.
Think about this for one then. That's 28 million from taxes from the actual, say, cannabis. Then the money you're saving then from not bringing individuals to court for being caught with a bit of it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Prisons,
guard their resources,
like
all that kind of stuff.
At least, that's 300 million if you add it all up.
And then the amount of tax they'll make on the sale of chili Doritos.
Oh yeah, this is it. You know what I mean? But that
the new sugar tax as well. When they all have the munchies, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then they have like they could have like the coffee shops like they have in fucking Amsterdam and shit.
Yeah.
Like even just have designated areas in certain cities and shit like that.
Yeah.
And those areas would have crime rate will drop in those areas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But not only that,
it's fucking amazing. Like,
look, I'm not a big man for saying legalise. I'm not really. I'm in two minds about it.
I think it should be legalised in the right way.
People are still going to do it. It should be regulated. It should be controlled. And
the term legalise should be very, very closely followed by regulate.
Yeah, legalise it, regulate it, tax it, do all of that.
Alcohol causes more problems every year.
Exactly. Yeah. Jesus Christ almighty.
You know what I mean?
Man,
exactly.
Look, at the end of the day, right, it kind of boils down to something simple. There's no fella going to get up off the couch and crack his missus or crack someone else one in the forehead if he's stoned out of his fucking tree, man.
Well, if they smoke his last bit of weed. You know what I mean? It can still cause problems, man.
But even at that, Russell, even at that, right? Like, you know, you do smoke up someone's last bit of weed. Look at the fucking shady bastards you have to go to get it.
It doesn't matter.
If you could just walk down to the shop and pick up more, I mean, you wouldn't crack fucking someone for smoking your last fag. You could walk down to the shop and buy more.
But the one thing about it today, with the high levels of THC that is in the cannabis today, like psychosis has come very high amongst individuals who
that's it again, you see, because you have dodgy people who are dealing it, and they're making their own hybrid versions and all this crack of fucking cannabis, and they're just trying to get as high as possible.
And the other thing then as well, man,
they could do away with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that could be done away with. Like,
but there was other thing then as well, where fellas were using like very fine fiberglass to weigh it down. Like you buy X amount for X amount, and it weighs a certain amount, but it doesn't actually weigh that because it's sprayed in fiberglass.
Yeah, they're basically
there was a whole thing.
I
remember, I think it might have been the Post or the Lead or something like that had a story on it there a couple of years ago about the fact that it's been sprayed down with fiberglass and it's eating people's fucking chests and you know shit like that. It's like doing people a lot of fucking harm. Like, and
we're coming up to the time. Mikey's giving me the signal over there, the middle finger signal.
That time.
But actually 10 minutes over time, but I said just for the anniversary we go on a bit more.
It's our anniversary.
Happy birthday to the podcast. Happy birthday to the podcast.
Happy birthday to the podcast. But yeah, fucking, I suppose we leave it at that. Cheers to everyone who shared, liked, commented throughout the years, including Dave Hare's one of them. Well, there's a lot of people out there, but can't name everyone obviously, but cheers for that. Keep sharing it. Keep telling your friends, and we'll hopefully be back next week.
Oh no, we will be back.
Bye, guys.
We will be back next week. By appointment.
Good luck.